All right, here we go. Coming off a very hazardous weekend in which my sciatica acted up and I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And now I'm okay. And now we're going into the wonderful world of New York Post comedy. Oh, yeah. That's how we go here. A Tish best served hold Letitia James. You know how Letitia went after the situation with the Trumpy. She said he was a bad real estate man. He did bad things. He estimated his property. Like they all don't do that. This is real estate, my friend. It's not tiddlywinks. But she got him. She convicted him. She was the district attorney in New York. In other words, a Marxist republic. I'm not telling you that New York is left wing, right wing paradise. But Joseph Stalin would feel very at home in here. Well, it seems Letitia is not up and the up and up. She has three properties, none of which has been given to the homeless. And apparently, she had a deal, a real estate deal, where she said her father was her husband. Now, one of the squad members married her brother. Now, I could see that, she may have come from a small village, a little pool of men wasn't that big. I don't know. Different culture. I don't judge. I'm judging this. Letitia, you can't marry your father to get an apartment. We draw the line here. That's worse than bestiality. It's no. Now, I don't think you really did the hoopy doop with your father. I think you did the hoopy doop. You screwed the people who do real estate. Letitia, if your butt's not clean, you shouldn't look into other people's underwear. That's all I gotta say. Ah, the world's going crazy. Sperm racing a goo. You know what this is about? Apparently, the sperm count all around the world is going down. Some say it's a diet. Some say it's radiation. It's a polluted food. I say it's the nagging of the ladies. That's going to drive your sperm count down. Men have a certain role in life. The hunter-gatherers, or the gatherers are the broads, and the hunters are the men. This is the way it's supposed to be. So when men disenfranchised, in other ways, psychologically castrated, they have a tendency to produce more sperm because they don't want to go propagate the species. This is what happens. And I blame you feminists on this. I'm pointing my finger. I'm pointing with the other finger. I give you a third finger, but this is a family channel. Mr. Cuomo. Now, I have a soft spot for any man who cops deals on his secretaries. I never had the courage myself. I was always one of those wimpy guys, being a gentleman. But it'd be nice if I wasn't such a gentleman. Maybe I would have done a little better in life. You know what I'm saying? Hasn't hurt Mr. Cuomo. He has admirers. He has a beautiful woman, young. But does he really do the doopy doop? With the secretaries, he's satisfied with the feeling of. I don't know. But I say we need somebody in Gracie Mansion who's getting crazy with the ladies. We need a man, telling you. And he says he can lock heads with Trump. Yeah, he certainly is a formidable person. But he's not as formidable as the charismatic, all-powerful God seems to be looking after him, Mr. Trump. But what's happening, this is major blow over dough. Apparently, a Marxist is going to get the money, the $2 million, and Trump, Mr. Cuomo, has to fend on for himself. And Mr. Cuomo also has a few unions that are saying, hey, we don't care if you knocked off a certain amount of people during Cuomo, or you wasted some machines that should have been used. We like your style, Mr. Cuomo. You're obnoxious as we are. We like your style, Mr. Cuomo. We want the theater of you locking heads with who you call a bully. A bully takes one to know one, all I gotta say. ICE is holding a student. They held hate rallies. This is now what is a hate rally? Define that, Vincent, or Nostrovini. I say a hate thing is when you endorse people who cut off babies' heads and put them in roasting trays. I say that's and then you kidnap people and hold them hostage. You support those people and you hate Jews. I call that a hate crime, and then you intimidate and try to beat them up. Now let me tell you something. You have no right to be here if you're endorsing those things if you're not an American citizen. American citizens get to go home, but you're here as a guest. And guests don't poop on the rug. You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say. Yeah, hey. And no student loans for you. Can run, but can't hide. We're going after MS-13. We're going after the Venice truck, and this is good. There's not that many of them, so you can get all you could break the backs of the gangs. There's enough to cause havoc when the Biden administration was doing nothing. Exactly like they don't exist. And then we dig into the illegals. But now the illegals, some of the illegals are good people. It's not that, it's that you need a certain amount of people who are immigrants who are willing to do the job, but they gotta be legal. Because everybody wants to live in the United States. It's the greatest country in the world. By men. And you know what? I dare you to make that distinction. Ah, Poles, these Marxists in the Politburo. They're suing Eric Adams for trying to make a deal with the ICE about getting rid of the illegals, especially the criminal ones. Because apparently the Marxists on saying that they're all for murderous kid rapists. But gonna sue him. Everybody's suing. Everybody, the lawyers are gonna make a lot of money. I'm telling you, lawyers make a lot of money. Let's see. The Cotton Big Bird. The TBS, the third channel 13 or whatever it is now, the public broadcasting. It's a commie hive. Big Bird is a red. I knew it. I always suspected that Big Bird. With who knows what's going on there? And she has a squeaky voice. Man or woman? I don't know. Stop it, Big Bird. Be good. Wipe away. They're gonna wipe out these criminals. They're gonna take them out. They're gonna take them out. They're gonna put them in El Salvador. And that's a max prison. That's no Hollywood. That's a Hollywood horror, like something out of a movie. Even I, who am a little authoritarian, I'll admit that, was like shocked. You can just pick these people up and put them in a max in another country. But God bless it. It's a beautiful thing. If anybody deserved to be mistreated like that, is those crumbs who are raping and murdering and pillaging among their own people and among the American people. Mel Gates had to go. What happened was this. Mr. Gates, he's traveling the country. He's a nerdy guy. He's a genius, but he was hanging out with Epstein. And his wife was like, what? You're hanging out with Epstein? You like young girls? Well, what's going on here? No good. Nothing. I'm telling you. China, U.S. peasants will suffer. This is something. The peasants, the Chinese are calling us, me, people like me, peasants. You got the peasants. Half your population's peasants, and half is really high up the high. You're going for a fall, China. Things are going to fall apart for you. It's like in the Soviet Union before the fall. You don't know how structurally sound it is because it's totalitarian. Everybody's afraid of the bars. What's this? Ah, and our tariffs are going to work. Mr. Trump is the most hardest, toughest negotiator in history. I would want to negotiate with him, but he does a good job of taking care of business, taking care of business, and he'll win. He'll trump all these guys who've been ripping us off for years. They're terrorists. We can't sell to them; they can sell to us because we wanted cheap goods. And we made deals that were bad, and got dependent on the commies and everybody else. There's a gobble gobble and gobble Manhattan. And we all been to Turkey, and that's how I feel for the turkey. There's a turkey who wants to have some in the cardinal situation. He's running around New York looking for another turkey. Well, there are plenty of turkeys, but most of those turkeys are human. You know what I'm saying? Poor little turkey, oh, looking for love. Looking for love, aren't we all? Ken Shapiro, Kim. Now this is a kind of momentum. He called himself the gay scientist, and he decided to go after Ken Shapiro, who's actually a Democrat and a liberal Democrat. The Looney Tunes were released, and they got Molotov cocktails. Well, luckily for Mr. Shapiro, he's Jewish Shapiro. What can I say? I could just say the word. And what's going on? Mr. Shapiro. He's getting taken care of. The God was looking after him. Yeah, Jesus. I say Jesus. He may say Shem or whatever God the Jewish people. They only gods. The one in true the law. Yeah, but anyway, he didn't get burned out. That could have happened if you didn't have a good door stopping the fire. Ah, a fencer who took a knee when she was Hungarian with a transgender or a transvestite or a crossdresser who was doing the sword play with her. The thing is, they're too strong. If you're if she was dealing with the average man or substandard, but she's dealing with top level transgender athletes, they got the advantage. They're men. Come on. I used to take on the girls. But I was an average guy, maybe a little above average strength. I'm dealing with the top athletes in the world. Of course, I'm going to get my ass. I'm not saying the language. I'm a gentle. What's this? What's this? Con captive spend. Con captive spends. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. I wrote down. I know what's going on. The commies control the Democratic Party. You got your AOC, who's a good looker. I have to admit that. She looks like she's working out a little bit. She looks like she's filling out. I'm not saying she's getting fat, she's getting husky. The little Irish boyfriend of hers might be in trouble. He might get roughed up. And she wears blouses in the I don't know, she's getting an ass. But AOC, she looks good. She always did look. I have to sometimes I call the Bucky Beaver. I said she has an insect-like face, her long legs, so she's Jiminy Cricket. That was not right. I admit my wrong. Woman's looking. She has the brain of a gnat, but that's that. Although she's parlayed things pretty good, for a woman who has the mentality of a dumb waitress. Well, she was a dumb waitress. Ah, oh, can I do all this? Did I do all I'm supposed to do here? What's the one? I think I did everything. And then now, I'll redo. The loneliness of Paris seems how sadly gay. The wonders that were Rome are of another day. I felt terribly alone and forgotten in Manhattan. But I really like that cesspool that's become San Francisco since the Democrats have ruled them for 50 years or less. I left my house in a poop-filled San Francisco. The junkies and the riffraff running the whole the time.